Allie Vite, your Rochester realtor. Don't forget to hit subscribe if this video brought you some value. Today I am here with
Kayla Shurson with Shurson Group, tax and accounting here in Rochester.
So Kayla is our tax expert and I have so many questions for her and she's just a wealth of knowledge, so thank you. First thing I want to start with is, what are some tax advantages of owning a home?
Yes, so for your personal home, to be honest, there's not a whole ton for your personal residence. You can maybe write off the mortgage interest if you itemize for your deductions on your personal return.
Okay.
So it's very dependent of who benefits from itemizing versus taking the standard deduction. However, one thing that I know we're going to talk about is if you are going to use maybe that property in the future for a rental or something like that. So then you would certainly want to keep track of any sort of like improvements that you're making to the home and those sorts of things.
Plus you just want to know your improvements when you go to sell the property, because I'm going to ask you about that later on. So I have a lot of clients that are buying rental properties. Do you recommend that how they set up LLCs, or do they just keep the properties in their names? What's your recommendation?
Yeah, we typically recommend that they do set up an LLC for each property.
Okay.
It just keeps things a little bit cleaner. Set up a new bank account for each of those, run all the sort of deposits and expenses for that home there, because on your tax return, you have what's called the Schedule E, and that is broken out by every single property, because you have to look at, is this short term? Is it long term? What sort of property is it? Is it commercial, residential, those sorts of things? So you do want to track all of that per home. And then obviously there's also legal reasons, which I am not the legal expert, so I'm not giving any advice on that. But that's also something to consider.
Yep. So with an LLC, a lot of times, again, not legal counsel, but the reason that you would want to have your own LLC per property is just to reduce your risk of financial obligation to, if someone were to pursue you for legal reasons, you would want per property. So with that being said, some people are interested in flips. What are some things that people should know about when they are flipping properties? Should they hold them for a certain amount of time? What does that look like?
Yeah, so typically for flips, those are often short term. So if you're holding the property less than a year, whatever profit you make on that sale is just ordinary income tax. So there's no real tax advantage to it. However, it's, for some people, it's a quick way to make money. So they like that.
So what if someone were to flip a property, hold it for 2 years and just rent it out after they flipped it? Anything there? Or?
So then it just turns into a long-term rental, right? Yep.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure, like, because then it transitions to like capital gains taxes if they were to flip it.
Because they haven't sold it.
Okay.
Yep. So nothing really happens until you sell the property.
Okay. Yeah. Great. So with capital gains, sometimes we are having people who are selling their primary residence before they've been there for 2 years. Tell me what that looks like.
Yeah, so for that, if you have not kept it for the last 2 of 5 years as your primary home, you are potentially subject to capital gains. However, if the gain is not more than $250,000 for single and $500,000 for married, you don't need to worry about it. So there are some times where we've actually seen that the gain is that much. The last couple of years, real estate has been wild. So we have seen it. It's not very often though.
Yeah. And if you're really concerned about that, there's always things that we can do with that income that you made. So,
which, like you said at the beginning, why it's important to know not only obviously the original purchase price, but any true improvements that you have put into the home, because that can add to the basis.
Cool. Yeah, I love it. Well, Kayla, thanks for your time.
Yeah,
it's great information.
Thank you.